and welcome. This is Giant Strides, a weekly program powered by the Niger Delta Power Holding Company Limited, NDPHC. And I'm your humble host, Jules AK, and I'm delighted to have you join us. Today, I'll be having a conversation with Honorable Omoregie Ogbeide-Ihama, and he is the Executive Director for the Strategy and Commercial Directorate of the NDPHC. And in our conversation, we take a deep dive into the strategies and initiatives his directorate is embarking on, and we gain insight on how that fits into the grand plan of the Managing Director and aligns with the comprehensive goal of Mr. President regarding the growth and improvement in the power sector. And without further ado, let's dive straight into the conversation. I'm here today with Honorable Omoregie Ogbeide-Ihama. Now, he is the Executive Director for the Strategy and Commercial Directorate of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company Limited, NDPHC. He will be sharing with us today on the strategies and initiatives of the NDPHC for the country's power sector. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
Well, thank you for having me.
So I would like you to walk us through your directorate strategy roadmap and how that aligns with the vision of the Managing Director.
Thank you again for having me. And well, you know, with strategy, it's always a holistic approach.
Okay.
And with respect to NDPHC, we try to put up a plan in the short, middle, and long term. And that does align with the MD's vision. And you know well that our focal points are optimizing processes, optimizing systems.
Yes.
You know, and also leveraging on human capital development using technology. So all of these pieces we try to put together to come up with a holistic framework, which is working already. In the last few months, you must have seen the MD moving from one place to another.
Absolutely.
You would notice that in terms of logistics plans and all of that, NDPHC had containers that were sleeping out there in the port for several years, almost 10 years plus. And within a few weeks, she was able to get all of those items and those goods out. Visits to every plant that the management did brought about first-hand knowledge on how to really optimize these assets in terms of productivity. So the week before last, she was in Ehovo in Edo, where two of the turbine engines, you know, were started up, and they've been lying without working. So the issues were addressed from the generation aspect of it, but all of this, from directorate to directorate, is functioned to fit into the MD's vision, and it's working. So what we do from the strategy part of it is to ensure that we put this together, see how it plays from directorate to directorate, and see how it works. Mind you, this is a new directorate, which the strategy department aspect of it takes charge of the corporate planning.
Right.
So it's planning of NDPHC's objectives from cradle to grave. Same directorate, it's commercial, business development. And as you well know, the regulators, NEC, they've opened up the market.
Yes.
And it's further expanding from eligible customers now to the bilaterals. So all of this will give a robust opportunity in terms of business development. You know, unlike before now, the gencos like NDPHC would generate and transmit energy power to the national grid under the supervision of MBET and all other stakeholders. But now you can deal directly with end users. We can deal with cluster of businesses.
Yes, community.
Yes, we can deal with individual requirements, so long as the requirement falls within the lowest threshold approvals. And we can also deal with now governments. Governments are now taking charge of regulating power within their territory, within their states. So, I mean, it's interesting days ahead in terms of the power sector and the entire ecosystem. So what we're doing from the commercial aspect of it would be to leverage on all of this and see how best we can earn revenues from power being generated, especially in line with ND's vision, which he has started optimizing our assets. You don't want to have assets that its output could be at this level, and for one or two reasons, it's at this level. So she's rigorously pursuing that, which aligns with the holistic strategy.
Yeah, that is great. I'm going to ask you still on the commercial aspect.
Yes.
Do you have any success stories or case studies of process improvement or innovations that your directorate has been able to achieve?
Yeah, absolutely. We don't only have success stories within a short time. We do have high levels of improvement in the way things are done in terms of customer relationship, in terms of customer drive, as well as management of stakeholders within the market sector and the commercial sector. I'll give you an example.
Sure.
Barely 3-4 months into administration in the management here, I can tell you that we've gotten to board levels to get approvals for trading with, dealing with traders that are licensed. So we have 100 megawatts signed and sealed, approved, with an entity that is legitimately licensed by NEC to trade. We'll have a whole lot others on the chain. It's a process. You have to do due diligence, you have to go back and forth. You know the way buying and selling works.
Absolutely.
So we have 3, 4, 5 in the pipeline, and I make bold to say that within a year, from the commercial aspect and in line with MD's agenda to turn NDPHC around, I make bold to say that we will be signing, most likely signing, power purchase agreements with legitimate stakeholders to the tone of, like, from the calculation, I actually had some documents here, so my data are accurate. Yeah. So, we might be running into almost 2,000 megawatts.
Wow.
Inclusion.
That's a good achievement.
But all of that also would align with the generation capacity as well as availability of fuel and gas.
Sure.
So it's a chain, and we're working as a team. The generation aspect of it, they're doing everything to optimize all of these assets. We are doing everything to get in the customers. That's what I'm telling you, that from what we have in the pipeline and from what we've done so far, and from what we met existing, maybe in about a year of being in office, we can actually talk about close to about 2,000 megawatts, if not more.
If not more.
Also, another aspect of it will be the gas.
Okay.
So if you take that from the strategic aspect of it, we probably have a long-term goal. It will be an interesting one if NDPHC can invest in getting its own gas. That will require a whole lot of stakeholder collaboration.
Absolutely.
From the presidency to the board, the vice president who's our chairman, to the management here, and even to the existing field managers, formerly called NDPHC MPDC and all of that. So, but that would be the icing on the cake on the long term.
On the long term.
Because, you know, in business and business development, access to raw materials. You have power plants, you need gas to fire them. If you can get your gas, then you're home and dry. But in the interim, we're working out GSAs, you know, supply agreements with suppliers within that sector to make sure that we have available gas. Some new innovations are coming to play. You see, like these PPAs we're doing.
Yes.
You know, this week, is it this week or Thursday? Thursday, this week or max next week, we'll be signing officially a power purchase agreement with one of the entities, trading companies.
Okay.
I just don't want to mention names.
Of course.
To get one of the trading companies for about 100 megawatts,
Right.
which is a good one.
Yeah.
Now, part of our innovation and strategy is to tie a GSA to the PPA. And what that simply means is that we're going to have a gas supply agreement to be able to supply gas to ensure that the 100 megawatts to this PPA are met. So when you have seamless processes like that, you don't have issues. So gas tied to PPA, GSA tied to PPA. So that's part of the innovations we're bringing on board to change and to enhance. Ultimately, it's about making money for our stakeholders. You know, NDPHC is more like running private business. Stakeholders, ownership, federal government, state government, local government. So we need to ensure that we're optimizing and getting value for our shareholders. So business part of it, commercial good, gas part of it good. So it's quite a critical directorate, as you can see. It may be new, but from the strategic part of it, as a Department of Strategy, it's a major player in the entire plan to drive NDPHC. So it's the directorate working hand in hand with the MD to ensure that whatever she wants is aligned as a strategic plan and in line with market practice, global practice, and internal acceptability. Because part of the departments we have here is the transformation and delivery department, which is also a new one. And you know, when managing internal stakeholders, people naturally resist change. So they find it strange when you're saying, okay, we need to have your deliverables, we need these timelines, we need to be able to get reports, find out what your challenges are. All of this will also help the strategic department. And in line with Mr. President's vision, which transformation and innovation departments are existing practically now in every government agency. And there's a monitoring team headed by, is it Hadiza Bala Mohammed? Just to ensure that people are held accountable to delivery and nothing else. So it's strange to systems. Human beings would naturally want to resist. But we're doing a lot of change management techniques.
True, and these are really new developments and very good ones at that to keep people, you know, accountable for the work that they do, which is really good. But you know, in the process of trying to achieve all these goals, I'm sure that, you know, here and there you face some challenges. I would like to know, what are some of the big challenges that your directorate might be facing in achieving its goals, and what are those strategies or initiatives you're implementing in order to address these challenges?
Well, naturally, every process has its own challenges. The key issues are, what measures are you putting in place to mitigate, to manage, and to improve on all of these challenges? You know, when we came on board, you know, with due respect, a whole lot needed to be rejigged. And let me appreciate Mr. President and the Vice President, who's our chairman, for the well thought of idea of creating this directorate, because it's so central to the nerve. Challenges start from even work processes. Yeah. Did you understand?
Yeah.
I gave you an example where, you now want to have a track of what you say you want to deliver, the time frame at which you will deliver, lead times, and a monitoring mechanism. So human beings naturally will resist. What are they trying to do? It's a new directory, they're asking questions, and all of that. But it builds up to support processes.
The entire
it's not witch hunting, but we have to do it. It's a way of feedback mechanism. So part of the key issues so far is normal human resistance, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
When you continuously engage and you, like I said, change management techniques. Oh, this is the way things are done now. This is a reporting mechanism, especially when you have to also transmit same to a federal government set up transformation and delivery unit.
Yeah.
So then it becomes binding on everyone. So that's part of it. Another would be, we're talking about commercials, we're talking about sales, getting energy to Nigerians, whether through business clusters, individual, state governments now, as well as national grid. If you're getting out your energy and the grid, you're not being lined up to supply to the grid, you're going to have stranded power. So another key challenge is some of this stranded power. We also need to work out ways where instead of having these stranded powers completely out here, there are new innovations or new plans in line with the regulations now to take these powers directly out without having to deal through embed and the iOS. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So those are some of the challenges. Another very key challenge would be, in my opinion, infrastructure, delivery. You could be my customer. You could be a huge industry
cluster.
Yes, cluster. And I can get access to you. We've had Agbara on the pipeline, but there's really no infrastructure put in place to get power to these industries. So we need to work hand in hand with the networks directorate, who will in turn work with TCN to try and get. So some of these bottlenecks are there, but gradually you unbundle them, address them, and we'll get there. So there are challenges, no doubt. But then again, the key issue is how do you mitigate?
How do you address these challenges? Thank you so much, Honorable Ihama. This has been such an enlightening discussion. I've enjoyed this conversation with you, and I would say it's been really enlightening. I appreciate your time. And until next time, I want to say thank you. Thank you for having me. And I hope that I've been able to, in summary, give a holistic view of this brand new Directorate for Strategy and Commercials in NDPHC. All hands are on deck in the bid to ensure success in the achievement of the goals and objectives of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company Limited, and the hope of debt recovery is not left out of the mix. The management team of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company Limited, NDPHC, led by Engineer Jennifer Adigije, paid a visit to its international bilateral client, CEET Lomé, in Togo, the electric power company of Togo. The purpose of the visit was for familiarization as well as to seek the payment of outstanding debts owed to the NDPHC by the Togolese company. This debt, running into millions of dollars, was an outstanding payment owed to Nigeria in the power purchase agreement between the two countries. Engineer Jennifer Adigije, the Managing Director of NDPHC, stated this after a meeting with the management team of the company in Lomé, the capital of Togo. During the meeting, she made demands for the repayment of the debt owed to Nigeria by the Togolese company and stressed that the huge outstanding payment, running into millions of dollars, has stalled investments in Nigeria's power sector.
The reason is that we value the relationship.
The agenda for the meeting was to consider the debt owed to the NDPHC by its counterpart at Togo's electricity company, which was incurred under the power purchase agreement that ensured the supply of electricity to Togo by Nigeria.
We are at our back.
The Director General of the Togolese company CEET Togo, known as Debo Barandao, at the meeting appealed to its Nigerian counterparts from the NDPHC to allow more time to ensure the repayment of its debts.
By the regulator.
The NDPHC, whilst also securing a commitment for the payment of outstanding debts, went ahead to secure the renewal of its power purchase agreement, as the current agreement is due to expire soon. For this, the head of the Togo Electricity Company promised to ensure prompt payment on future invoices moving forward. This achievement will cause improved cash flow for the NDPHC and will also boost the efficiency of the company, as a lot of its projects require funding for execution.
We're here on a familiarization visit. We're also here on a working relationship with them to assure them of our commitment to fostering and enhancing the relationship. Our chairman of the board, His Excellency Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima, insists that we leverage our bilateral relationships to create new market opportunities for us that would ensure that we improve shareholder value. And therefore, this company, as one of our largest consumers, is very important to us. And so we're here to extract commitment from them on the renewal of our power purchase agreement, and also on how to come up with a repayment plan that would ensure that we clear the outstanding debt reasonably, realistically, and timely.
We are really pleased to receive our Nigerian partners, the new team, the new management of NDPHC. We have been really having good relationship with the NDPHC, and it was really important for us to have to meet with this new management, at least to have a first contact and also discuss for the future of the relationship. Meaning, we know that we have some debt outstanding. We have discussed it, and we have agreed to see how we can work together and see how we can clear the debt, and also strengthen the relationship, get sustainable supply of electricity from Nigeria.
The management team of the NDPHC, led by Engineer Jennifer Adigije, are not relenting and taking visible steps towards the achievement of their mandate. This is bound to deliver great improvements in the power sector in Nigeria. Welcome back. And I'm certain that you found that conversation very enlightening and that you've gained knowledge regarding reforms within the power sector. With several power plant rehabilitations ongoing around the country, Nigerians can expect major improvements in the power sector. So, until next time, I remain your humble host, Jules AK. Thank you for joining us.